Check 2-3. Check whatever you need. It's on cheap. Yep.
I can start without it. What song you want to start? Technical difficulty. Can I help? Well, let's see.
Check 1-2. Oh, that sounds good.
There it is.
Yeah, okay, good. Check 1-2.
No, only in the monitor.
Check 1-2. Testing. Testing.
Yes.
Check 1-2. Check. Or and all.
How you doing? All right. Warm. It's all been warm. All right, how old is the dog?
I got it in 72, but used that.
Second time I get to hear that story.
Probably the oldest. No, 69.
No, I don't think so. You look them up now. I got a flying V. Yeah, but this might get free for this.
Yeah. Yeah, they really. If you had an original form of the V, you could get or Gretsch White Falcon. Right. But these, I don't know, not really knowing if my name is Charlie. Whenever we call, hey, Charlie? Probably, yeah. Shane. Hello. Shane's supposed to be doing a GMO song after the governor's speech. Okay. You need to plug in your amp. Okay? Where will we be? Right here. Yeah, where we go. I'll see you. Yeah. You need a guitar. Yeah. Why don't you just sit in there? You look at his amp. I was the only guy. I got a training.
Yeah, I'm just going to.
It's nice better through the CS.
We aren't even going to go there. We're just going to. It's one song.
I think we could start off with
Like something neat. 1, 2.
You hear that? Hello. Welcome to GMO bill signing. There's Paul Burns on there, Paul. Hi, how are you tonight? How should I do? But my baby, she left me with a mule ride. Baby, she left
She left me with a mule ride. When that train left the station, old mule laid right down and died. I said, brand new $20 bill. Lord, I sent my brand new $20 bill. If I don't bring it back, I know my shotgun will. Let me see. No, Chicago. You know, if I get like this in the morning, I swear I'll be Mississippi bound. She left. She left me. You're right. She hear about station on me, let her down and died. Yeah. I'll be sitting on the I'll be standing on the land with a big boat ready to run. I'll be hoping, I'll be praying I don't see your face no more. But my baby, she left me with a mule ride. But my baby, she left me with a mule ride. When a train left the station, on me laid right down and died. But I said that woman a brand new $20 bill. Yes, I did. But I said my face a brand new $20 bill. Now if I don't bring her back, I know my friend Charlie will. Yeah. Hey Nick, can you hear me?
Can you hear me now?
Don't let me come out there.
Can you hear me now? I'm so sorry with the speech.
What a victory.
That's the Madeira right there.
Streaming.
How are you, buddy?
For being here.
Pretty fun. Want to say hi?
Oh, yeah. Kill myself.
See, where are you? There you are.
Hi, everybody.
So you can.
Thanks for this great victory.
It's you.
It's the people
I'm
that
warming
did
the
it.
microphone.
Yeah, it took a lot of people to make this happen.
Sure did.
Yeah, pretty great.
Grassroots. Full on. Okay.
And right now? Okay.
I hope so.
What happened? Can you look for me? Okay.
Now you know the
Prime real estate there, isn't it?
video when she talks. Okay, go over when she talks. You need this?
Just in case. Thank you.
I don't care.
Video camera?
Very small. High definition to boot. Streaming live on Google. So when you're done, you're not going to be right there, are you?
No.
I could go up a step. You're in your
Mine,
shot.
mine shot.
Yeah. I can go up a step. Let me try that.
Am I good here?
Well, everybody in the world is taking pictures. Are you doing okay?
Great table.
Ooh, that. Okay, oops, sorry.
Well, it's an experiment. I'm checking it. Seems to be working.
I haven't watched the video, but I've been enjoying it.
Really popular. I guess not.
Big bucket section on the table. Get the protein out of there.
So the bandwidth is definitely getting sucked
Oh, how are you? Good here.
So far, yeah, no problem. If you tip anything over, we'll have to have a chair.
Yeah. If anything tips, it's going to be me. I am tipsy. Well, I've heard that before. It's a nice shot to the Pro Tem's butt on the reflection there. Artsy. Got that little girl's name already.
Hey, welcome. Go Vermont. I am so honored to be here with the bravest legislators in America. With the bravest citizens of the bravest state. To launch a very simple bill that will bring fairness to the people of the great state of Vermont. Yeah. We in this state today will sign the first bill in America, joining 60 other countries, where Vermonters will have the right to know what's in their food. Vermont, as you know, has a long history of getting it right the first time. Yeah. We got it right when we said we're the first nation of the 50 states that abolished slavery. We got it right when we said we're the first state of the 50 states where you can marry the person that you love because we thought it was the right thing to do, not because judges were telling us we must. And today, we are the first state in America that says simply, Vermonters have spoken loud and clear. They want to know what's in their food. We are pro-choice. We are pro-information. Vermont gets it right with this bill. Now, there are some who have said that there are forces in this country, in the food business, who don't want Vermonters to have this right, and that they may use that other branch of government to try and deny us of that right. But we're proud today, in addition to signing this bill, to launch the Vermont Food Fight Fund. And we are asking people all across America and all across the great state of Vermont to go to foodfightfundvermont.org and make a donation so that we can win the Vermont Food Fight Fund fight, not only for Vermont, but for America. Now, you don't have to be rich to donate to the Vermont Food Fight Fund. $1, $10, $100. If we get every American who cares to have the choice to know what's in their food to donate to the Vermont Food Fight Fund at foodfightfundvermont.org, we will win the Food Fight Fund for America. There are so many people across this state that made this moment possible. I've mentioned the legislature. We're going to hear from a number of the leaders of the legislature, the people that fight for this bill for a long time. But you know what really made this possible today? Is the voices of ordinary Vermonters of all age groups who had the courage and the wisdom and the willingness to talk to their legislature, to talk to their neighbor, to knock on doors and talk to Vermonters and say we can get this right and we can be the first to get it right. I want to introduce now one Vermonter who got on board early. She decided with her sister and her mom and her dad and her friends that they were going to start writing letters to Vermont legislators, going to start making phone calls, enlisting their friends to make a difference so that they knew that their generation of Vermonters would be a part of this transformation of fairness in what we eat, having good, clean food in Vermont that makes us healthy and allows us to thrive. So I have with me today Bridget Armbrust. Bridget and her sister Molly. Come on, raise your hands. This is Bridget. This is Molly. We got to give a shout out to their producers, Kelly and Kurt, who are here. Come on, where'd they go? Right down here. But I'm going to turn the mic over to 11-year-old Bridget Armbrust. Bridget is from West Hartford, Vermont, the land of John Campbell and others. Give it up to Bridget, who had the courage to come aboard early.
I started a letter writing campaign called Kids Care. I started it because I was interested in this, and I thought that other kids might be too. And so that's pretty much why I started it. But right now, I want to share a story with you. It's about a story that I recently heard. So there was a monk called Bird's Nest because he was always sitting up in this tree. And he was considered to be a very wise monk. And so the governor of that part of the land traveled a very long way to see this monk and ask for some wisdom. And when he got there, he asked, "Tell me all the great teachings of the Buddha." And the monk said, "Always do good things, never do bad things." And the governor thought this was a very unsatisfactory answer to have come all this way for. So he said, "I've known that since I was 3. And the monk said, "The 3-year-old knows it, but the 80-year-old still finds it very hard to do." And I think that's very true. To thank the Vermont legislature and the governor for doing good things. They've done the right thing in passing this bill, even though it's not always easy. So that's pretty much it. So thank you.
Thank you, Bridget. Thank you, Molly. I now want to turn it over to two folks that got involved in this battle to bring this bill to signature today, Lisa McCrory and Carl Russell. Lisa and Carl were involved in conversations with advocates about this bill years ago. And they actually met at a kitchen table discussing how we could get GMOs labeled in Vermont and America at an advocates meeting. At that meeting, it's alleged that it was a GMO-free meal. They fell in love, they got married, and they're still fighting the fight. So let's turn it over to Lisa and Carl. Come on.
Hello, everybody. What a great reason to come together, and everything that he said is true. We fell in love. It's always true. And so I'll move on. We're so proud of the state of Vermont for being the first to pass this legislation through without any trigger clauses. But I have to say, Carl and I have been doing this fight right for the past 14 years and then some, but there's so many people here to thank that have really had boots to the ground. And it's been a long process, but we've got a long ways to go. Did you know that even though we're able to have our food labeled, that we still don't know what's in our milk or our meat products? And that in the state of Vermont, over 80,000 acres of GMO corn was planted in our cornfields, and that's continuing. We need to continue moving our awareness and our legislation to make sure that we know what's going into our soils and what's being fed to our animals and what we're eating when we're going into the livestock product side of things. So we've done a great job. I'm so excited, and let's keep going. Let's not stop.
Thank you, Governor, for inviting us to be a part of this. As the current chair of the board of directors for rural Vermont, I really want to say how proud we are that our organization was part of an incredibly effective collaborative process with several other important organizations in the state. And our staff worked tirelessly on this, and we want to acknowledge them here today. Thank you very much. I'm really happy about the labeling law because it now gives people the opportunity to not only know what goes into their food, but it also gives them the choice to support the kind of agriculture that they want to see in the state of Vermont. And as a state, as a community, we still have that challenge in front of us all to decide what kind of agriculture it is that we want to support here. Do we want to support a corporate-controlled, low-profit, or doesn't protect our environment and is supported by GMOs to protect for economy of scale? Or do we want to have an opportunity to increase profitability so our farmers can have sustainable practices that restore human, community, and environmental health? So as rural Vermont moves into our 30th year of agricultural advocacy, we want to make sure that you all know that we're still in this campaign, and we appreciate you coming here, and thank you everybody for working at this so hard.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Carl. Hey, listen, if you're not with us on this issue, but you just want to, get a date like that, go to foodfightfundvermont.org. Donate, About foodfightvermont.org, we have an extraordinary website. It was designed by Vermont Design Works. I know Vermont Design Works is here today. Let's give them a shout out because they put together Before I introduce the next speaker, I want to give a huge shout out. Let's give a shout out. Raise your hands to the VPIRG canvassers who brought this door to and their tireless advocate who never gives up, never quits, executive director of VPIRG, the best director of any PIRG in the country. Let's give it up to Paul Burns.
Thank you, Governor, and thanks to all of you for being here today to celebrate one of the most important consumer protection laws passed anywhere in the nation this year. At VPIRG, we're proud to be here with our coalition partners, with our legislative champs, with the governor, and with all of you. Today we celebrate not just the substantive importance of giving consumers the information they need to make informed choices, but also to recognize the fact that in Vermont at least, democracy is alive and well. You all wanted this to happen. You and tens of thousands of others who became active on this campaign were united around one simple idea, that you have the right to know. You made your voices heard using every possible means of communication. Email, letters, public hearings, direct communications, even songs. And our legislators responded. They did their job. They did their homework. And they put a bill, a strong bill, on the governor's desk for his signature today. So let's thank our legislators for doing that. By passing this law with no strings attached, Vermont has sent a message out loud and clear that no company, no matter how big, no matter how rich, no matter how powerful, can deny you the right to know what is in your food. Yeah! And no longer will they be able to fraudulently market their GMO products as all natural in Vermont either. And that's a huge win for consumers. It's a huge win for consumers, and it also levels the playing field among food producers, and that's important too. And best of all, we aren't waiting for anybody else to tell us it's okay to stand up and protect our citizens. So that's what's going on in Vermont today, and you know we wouldn't be here if it weren't for the excellent work of so many people. You're going to hear from a few more of them, but I just want to point out a few who have been so important for us here at VPIRG. First, I want to note Balco Schilling, who's our consumer advocate at VPIRG. Balco not only led our campaign, but he was a tremendous service to all the legislators who are working on this from one committee after another. He is a lawyer who knows how to organize. That is a rare and wonderful thing. I also want to recognize, speaking of legal folks, our Legal Eagle team at the Environmental and Natural Resources Law Clinic at Vermont Law School. As you may have heard, legal issues pop up from time to time around this issue. Doug Ruley and Laura Murphy and their team of talented law students have become nationally recognized experts on this issue. Their work was tremendously important to legislators as they worked really carefully through the various issues that were raised with this legislation, particularly the judicial committees and their chairs. And so I appreciate the work of Vermont Law School and the legal clinic there. And finally, I just want to come back to democracy. In signing this bill today, the governor puts a cap on one of the largest grassroots campaigns in recent Vermont history. This bill becomes law today because of people power. And thank you very much. And also, just want to recognize our second work that the governor also noted of our VPIRG canvas crew here. They did visit every single town, village, city, grant, or in the entire state of Vermont, and in every one of those communities, that is inhabited, we now have at least one person who has signed on as a supporter of this bill today. That's amazing. So there's like 80,000 50,000 doors. They had 50,000 conversations gathered, over 32,000 signatures, gave them all to the legislators here to tell people, to tell our legislators that people wanted their right to know. And I'm certain if you asked them, that these legislators here today would say they appreciated every single one of those comments. Thousands. Thousands. Well, this group's dedication, their energy, their passion for this issue and this campaign lifted up everyone else who was working on it. So I thank them. They also engaged more people in more places than we would have been able to do through any other means. That really is democracy in action. And today, Governor, I'd like to make you an honorary member of our outreach team. And this comes with a really cool t-shirt. So I love it.
I don't know what I like better, the t-shirt or the fact that I'm going to get back out on my bike, right? Yeah. Listen, the next speaker, and we're going to try and keep him short now because we've got a few more to go here, but before we hear from a few legislators, there's one person that's been involved in this struggle right from the beginning. It's Will Allen from Cedar Circle Farm. He was one of the key members of the Simple Right to Know GMO Coalition across Vermont. Will, thanks for joining us.
Thanks a lot, Shumlin, for asking me here. I really appreciate it. And, you know, like Jim Hightower says that there's a populist fervor going on in this country. And this is an example of it. This was a populist victory. This was a grassroots victory. But it was also a victory for the legislators. And now it's going to be a victory for the governor. And so this is very important to all of us because if we can do this in Vermont, we can use this model all over the country. And it's an important model. And I went to these several organizations, NOFA, VPIRG, and Rural Vermont in 2012 and asked them if they would join us, because I was on the board of the Organic Consumers Association, in trying to pass a bill here that was similar to the bills that were being proposed all over the rest of the country, and that was written by at first by the Center for Food Safety, and then revised by our law clinic. So there's a lot of heroes in this battle, but the biggest heroes in terms of carrying a lot of water were the coalition members, Rural Vermont, NOFA, VPIRG, and New Horizon, and a lot of businesses in the state. But the big issue here is that your outreach made the difference. Your outreach completely turned the tide, because some of the legislators said they got as many as 1,500 letters, emails, and phone calls. Now that is huge, and that's you. So give yourself a hand. You did it. Like Carl and Lisa said, this is just the start. We plan on cleaning up our food system in Vermont and trying to clean it, use that as an example to clean up our food system in this country. So stay with us, and legislators and senators, I hope you don't get tired of me seeing me in the State House, because I'm going to be here. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Will. And we all know that without the courage of the Senate and the House, we wouldn't be standing here now. So many senators came up to the plate and fought for this bill. Senator Dick Sears chaired the committee. Senator David Zuckerman, who had this blink in his eye a long time ago. But without the leadership of the Senate and the courage of the President of the Senate, who's been fighting for this for a long time, we wouldn't be where we are. Let's give it up to Senate President John Kemp.
Well, I tell you, I've been waiting for this day for a long, long time. First of all, I found my replacement for my Senate seat here at Bridget. In fact, fact, she kept on sending me so many letters. I was starting to get some inquiries from my chief of staff saying, "Who's this Bridget?" I thought she was going to have to look for a new job. Anyway, seriously, I can't tell you all how much I appreciate the work, the hard work, the devotion that you all have shown. Make sure that this cause, this issue was addressed in the state. One of the toughest things, I just want to talk one little aspect of this, and this had to do with the triggers. As all of you know, there are other states, they passed similar laws, but there were always triggers on them that you had to have so many other states or something else had to happen. And also, as you know, there are certain companies, large multinational companies, that would love to stop us in our tracks. And we all got little threatening letters about what if we were going to do this or do that we might end up in court. A lot of times that scares people. You know what? Not us. We are going to do what is right for the people of Vermont and the people of this country. And that is to make sure that you have the right to know what is in your food, every bit of your food. And the fight does continue. We will not stop because there are other things that have to be added here. We will not be frightened away because we know behind us we have a huge army, and that's you all. So again, thank you so much for what you've done.
Thank you.
I get a chance to introduce not only a colleague, but a friend. And a friend that actually was one of the people who introduced me to this issue many years ago. And as most of you recall, in 2006, we tried to pass a bill regarding liability and have drift going over to other farmers. We tried to protect farmers where this drift landed. And unfortunately, the big companies were a little successful back then, and we weren't able to really see it through. I can't think of anyone who's fought harder, and not only to make sure that the message gets out to the community, but worked harder in this building, convincing colleagues on both sides of the aisle, in both the Senate and the House, how important this issue. Ladies and gentlemen, David Zuckerman.
Well, I've been working on it, and I see so many familiar faces and names. Betsy, Denise, Ben, so many people to thank. First and foremost, though, I want to thank my wife, Rachel Nevitt, who's here, who has put up with me getting home really late, or leaving really early, and leaving her with way too many farm chores to do, particularly while she's been. So I just want to thank Rachel for putting up with me. She just told me she got it on tape, so I'm just joking around. There's many people, obviously. There was great leadership in the House. Carolyn Partridge and Bill Lippert, chairs of the committees on that side, and Kate Webb, who introduced Theo Zager. I'm saying these names fast because there's a long day here, but in the Senate, I just really want to thank the chairman of my committee, Bobby Starr, who helped guide us through the process, taking what started as a great foundation from the House, tweaking it a little bit here and there to try to make it a little bit more legally defendable, and then really the phenomenal leadership of Dick Sears to move it through judiciary. Where we really knew the big battle was to determine, do we have legal standing? Do we think we have legal standing? Is it worth it for us to put this out there and put our state on the line? And Dick Sears did a great job of shepherding it through that committee and enabling the There are states across the country. There are people who have already contacted me the last couple of weeks saying, how do I get this introduced in my state? Or this has really bolstered our energy in this state, such as Oregon, who's really the next round right now of the referendum this fall. So hopefully points on their referendum. And all of you reached out from all over the state.
first chamber that the Congress passes bill by an overwhelming vote was the House, led by the extraordinarily talented Speaker of the House, Shap Smith. Members behind me have been hard at this, but let's give it up. First, I have to prove my dyslexic credentials. Let's give it up to the Speaker of the House, Shap Smith.
Incredible day. Lettuce and tomatoes in my own little garden and sold them at a farmer's market in the 1970s. So agriculture is part of my blood, and the idea of knowing where your food came from and what it's made of is incredibly important. Because if you don't know the information, you can't make the choice. And we ought to have the right to know. And how is it that in this country we've come to a place where corporate America is trying to block consumers' right to know what's in their food? Well, that should not happen. That's not going to happen. Vermont is leading the way to make sure that that will not happen. Actually, Carolyn Partridge and Kate Webb, we wouldn't have been able to do it without you. So, Carolyn Partridge, thank you very much.
Thank you, Jack. And welcome to all of you to the front porch of the People's House. Yeah. Thankfully, we've been graced with a beautiful day, and somehow I think someone's smiling on us. This has been a long journey with many people helping along the way. I want to thank the Speaker of the House, Shap Smith, for his leadership. I want to thank the original lead sponsor of the bill, Representative Kate Webb. Thank you, Kate. I want to thank the advocates and all of the witnesses who testified and participated in this democratic process, including the Vermont Law School, which did extensive background work for us. I want to thank the Governor, Senate President Pro Tem, for your leadership and your positions. And I especially want to thank our brilliant Legislative Council staff and other committees. They're out there somewhere. And my thoughtful, hardworking committee members who worked on this bill in 2012 and 2013, each time improving it. But most of all, I want to thank all of you for sending your good wishes and positive energy as we work through this issue. And to the 400 Vermonters who made their way to the State House on April 12, 2012 to testify in favor of the bill and lend your support. Thank you. You have all been with us on this journey, and you have proven that your votes count, your voices can make a difference, and together we govern. Thank you.
And before we put the pen to paper and sign this bill, wrapping up for us today and serving free ice cream and afterwards with great music, doing this for
Sit down. Grab her. Grab her.
Sorry.
Sit down.
Second to last.
Are you okay? Sure. We have water. Sit right here. We have water.
You know the politics that goes for too long when you start passing out. You all good? So listen, sorry, somehow I thought that Kate Webb was going to say a word or two. She's actually the sponsor of this bill in the House. Lead sponsor. Take it away.
Thank you. Kelly.
When I was approached by the advocates to sponsor this bill, I thought, slam dunk, this is just the right to know. This should be so easy. Wow. It's a citizen legislature that we're not experts in this field, but we have the opportunity to listen to experts within the state and around the country, and that is what we did. This bill took us on a journey to better understand labeling laws, federal preemption, the working of the FDA, commercial free speech, and the science of engineering. And through this work and through the incredible advocacy from the ground, we were able to bring this bill here. And I really acknowledge the Senate for having the courage. We don't always acknowledge the Senate. But I'm acknowledging the Senate for getting rid of that trigger. That was brave. And for anything big, anything important takes risk. So thank you all, and as I have said before, as goes Vermont, so goes the nation.
Thank you, Webb. Meeting this time. Last but certainly not least, scoop and ice cream with great music ahead. The CEO of Ben & Jerry's, Jostein Solheim, Jostein and his company are doing what more companies across America should do. By 2014, they will be indicating a label on their product that their product is non-GMO, GMO-free. Let's give it up to Jostein Solheim.
I do have a long list of thank you, but I think you all know who you are by now, and we're going to keep it short. I would just want to say how proud I am to be an honorary Vermonter, how proud I am of Vermont today, and how great it is to be a Vermont-based company today, because this is really special. Having a grassroots movement like this, having a legislature like this, having a governor like this, that's willing to stand up and be counted when it matters, is just really unique. And that's why Ben & Jerry's will always remain in the state of Vermont, because without it, I really want to echo the last speaker. And also we do not believe that this is the end. This is really, and we are here today to celebrate the new beginning. The beginning of going further, the beginning of taking this to the nation. We operate in every state in this country. We operate actually in 35 countries. We can deal with this. We can do this. Everybody can deal with this. Everybody can do this. And we're on our way to Oregon to bring your energy, your passion there. So I thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so let's sign this bill.
Hey guys, I want to let you all know it's a little ironic, but the seats that the governor's now sitting in is the seats where the corporations testified in our Judiciary Committee, so I think it's a bit ironic.
Okay, friends. Come on, come over here. Come on. You ready to rock?
She's ready.
Just want to make sure. Okay. We need you around here more often. All right, it's going to be the triple sign. Are you ready? Here we go.
All right, come on.
It's law. Does everyone think that Bridget should get one of these pens? Yeah, come on. There you go. David Zuckerman, where you hiding? Carolyn Partridge, thank you for your great work. Give it all up. All right. So listen. stream to live it up, and to the greatest music we could find in Vermont, the greatest musician in Vermont, Bob Stanner. Come on, Bob, bring it on down.
So, yeah, congratulations, ladies. Okay.
How we all doing out there? Hello. I said, how we doing? Yeah. Hey, Governor Shumlin, are you still listening? Governor Shumlin. Hey, Governor. He's awfully busy. Governor Shumlin, I'm dedicating this Howlin' Wolf song to you as if you are singing it. Okay, you ready? You're singing to our friends from Monsanto. Are you ready? Hey, look here, Monsanto, what you trying to do? You're trying to sue me and the rest of Vermont too. Well, I'm worried about you. Yeah, I'm worried about you. Yes, I'm worried about you, Monsanto. That means you better be worried about me. I'm going to tell you this time. I ain't going to tell you no more. I got to tell you again. You get them GMOs out my door. I'm worried about you. Yes, I'm worried about you. Yes, I'm worried about you, Monsanto, but you better be worried about me over Vermont right here. Well, come here, babysitter, on my knee. I got something terribly worrying me. I'm worried about you. Yes, I'm worried about you. Yes, I'm worried about you, Monsanto, but you better be worried about Charlie Heather right here. Well, look here, Monsanto, what you trying to do? You're trying to sue me and the rest of Vermont too. Well, I'm worried about you. Yes, I'm worried about you. Yes, I'm worried about you, Monsanto, but that means you better be worried about Vermont right here. Charlie Hilbert on guitar, right there. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to ask my friend Charlie to do a little singing for you here. I want to say hi to my friend Dick Brigham. Dick Brigham's in the crowd. Hi, Dick Brigham. Hey! I'm going to sing a tune that was written probably 1954. Bob and I were only 2 years old, so we can't be held responsible for the lyrics. Or anything else. Yeah. Yeah, right. Champagne when I'm thirsty, but bring me Ripple when I'm ready to get high. Bring me champagne when I'm thirsty, but bring me Ripple when I want to get high. Well, I'm lonely. Bring me my baby, sit down, my fire. Shumlin, if people want to smoke a little bit. Shumlin around, if people want to smoke a little bit. Relax your body, go home, man. Every time I get high, I lay my head down in my blue. Every time I get high, I lay my head down in my blue. I'm moving this around this morning. So high, be fine. High this morning. So high, so down. ever stick to my rhubarb, I won't be messing around with no cocaine. Charlie Hilbert. Yeah, you know, this just in, folks. This party ain't over. This is just getting going. We got some ice cream down there, free ice cream from our friends here in Vermont, Ben and Jerry's. We got a couple of people from the coalition want to say a few words here in a minute, but in the meantime, we're providing you with a little afternoon entertainment right here on the hot granite steps of the Vermont State House. Well, I got a woman, but she's always out of town. Yeah, I got a woman, but she's always out of town. When I'm looking for her sweet loving man, she can't be found. I got another woman, people. She's married to my best friend, right over here. I got another woman. She's married to my best friend. If he catches us together, I know it'll be the end. Yeah. I got a baby girl. Man, she's as sweet as she can be. Yeah, I got a homie girl. Man, she's a sweetie, she can be. You know, Charlie, I think I'm going to stick with her. And she don't want nobody but me. Now, there's a moral to this long story, and I swear to God, it's true. Yeah, there's a moral to the story, and I swear to God, it's true. You know, never mind the one you love, little fella now. Though the one that loves you, she's gonna do more for you. Bob Standard, ladies and gentlemen. How about it? How about it? That was a GMO-free song right there. There wasn't one GMO in that one. Say that again. Look at this one. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to turn the phone over here to my friend Falco. You want to use this right here? Let me stretch it out. Let me stretch it out for you. Put your hands together for Falco Shumlin from People. Would you please? All right, thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for coming out today. I know you've heard a lot of speeches already, but there's a number of people who've been involved in this who just wanted to say a few words, and to thank you all for coming here today. I have to say that this has been an absolute honor to get to work with all of you on this campaign. It's been astounding. Whenever I felt like I didn't have any energy left, it was just getting hard, you guys lifted me up, and you kept us going, and this is what kept us going all throughout the year, all last summer, knocking on doors, is just the incredible support we had from people like you on this campaign, and I really want to thank our grassroots members, our canvassers, and especially the Vermont Right to Know GMOs Coalition, and this man right here, who not only plays a mean blues tune, but helped us work this bill through the Agriculture Committee in 2012, and has been a part of this team, so thank you, Bob. Thank you, everyone, and I hope you get some ice cream and celebrate, and maybe we'll see some of you downtown at a local watering hole after this event. So next I want to pass it off to Kat Buxton, who's going to say a few words.
I'm sorry, I called you Kate. Drop this down. How's that?
That helps. Thank you very much, Bob. I'm Kat Buxton. I work for Cedar Circle Farm, and I'm a part of the Vermont Right to Know Coalition. And I am so proud of Vermont. I'm so proud of everybody here and all the people that weren't able to make it today. There were thousands and thousands of Vermonters that stepped up to the plate over and over and over again. I also want to make sure to thank our food co-ops in the state who have been at the forefront of this fight for 15 years. And not just our food co-ops, but the natural food stores that are privately owned throughout the state too, that really stepped up to the plate repeatedly and are going to continue to do so because that's their business. So thank you to all the food folks out there in the state. We're so proud. This is a populist movement. This is such an indicator of what needs to happen nationally. We have democracy in Vermont. We are the people. And not only did our legislators listen to us, but many of them actually changed their mind because of listening to us. And that's because you just wouldn't shut up. And it's so important that you didn't. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And here's Andrea from rural Vermont.
Hey everybody, it's been a great afternoon. I can only add my thanks to everyone who turned out. I want to say hi to everybody who's out in Cyberland. Thanks to Bob Farnham, Bob the Green Guy Farnham, who made our live stream possible. So all the folks who couldn't be here were able to be here. Hi everybody. And I want to say something about what's next. This isn't over. We have a law. We're going to have the right to know. In a couple of years, food is going to be labeled on our shelves. But as I think you heard, this is a bigger problem. It's a bigger fight, and we need to keep this going. And one of the reasons that we were able to do what we did with this labeling bill is we built a coalition. We've got a lot of different organizations, the businesses, the food producers, the legislators. All of those folks came together in common cause. And when we're up against something as big as corporate agriculture and the power of money, we're going to need as many people as we can possibly pull together. So have a great time this afternoon. Eat ice cream. Make sure you get some seeds from High Mowing Seeds. We didn't get a chance to mention them earlier, but right over in that corner, Tom Stearns and his folks from High Mowing Seeds brought a whole bunch of seed packets. It's a great way to start the spring season. Grab some seeds, get some non-GMO plants in the ground, and grow your own food. But stay tuned. Stick with us. Don't give up the fight. Bye-bye.
Without whose help, we wouldn't have had half of the businesses in this state, of which there were hundreds that supported this bill.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming.
This has been a long time coming. Been working on this bill for 3 years. And there have been a lot of businesses here in Vermont who supported GMO labeling. Folks like Ben & Jerry's, who are here today scooping ice cream. Also, New Chapter down in Brattleboro, a GMO-free vitamin company. That's just a few of the businesses that worked on this bill and supported your right to know what's in your food. I think what we have to do now is make sure that we use this right, that when food is labeled on our shelves, we take a look, and that's how we make our choices of what we bring home to eat. And I urge everyone to go find out which company supported GMO labeling. It's quite easy. Go to our website, vbsr.org. We list all our members there. And if there's a food company there, they most likely supported GMO labeling. So give these companies some love. Talk to your friends about supporting companies that support labeling. And thank you very much for everyone's support on this bill.
I think our last speaker here is one of my heroes, Will Allen.
She's one of mine. Like we couldn't have organized all these people in the state without Kat. And with Brooke and Maddie. They did an enormous job for us. A lot of other people too, Caitlin over here. And then a major piece was social media. If we hadn't had social media, we probably couldn't have done this. And another shout out over here to my friend Michael Hansen. Michael Hansen was is the senior scientist from Consumers Union, and his testimony was pivotal. So thanks a lot, everybody. Like, this is like Vermont's victory. It's a grassroots victory, and hopefully other states will model this for their victory. Thanks a lot.
So back to music. Let's see some dancing. Thanks so much, everybody. This is such a victory. Woohoo!
We asked them to work on legalizing cannabis.
Could you put your hands together for the coalition that made this happen, please?
And could we work on legalizing cannabis next, please? Let's get with it.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this just in. There is a live stream going on here, so if anybody wants to say anything to the world, come right over here. Look, here comes the senator right here. Wait a minute. Hold on. Hold it. We will be legalizing it next year. Woohoo! Yeah!
Thanks to God.
No, thanks to Senator Zuckerman,
Senator.
who, by the way, is God
Right.
to some of us. Yes, sir. All right, so hey, listen, Falco, Falco, I don't know where you went, buddy, but you stand corrected. I actually came working on this issue in 2007, and it was my first day on the job. I didn't know anything about it, and I got to meet the lawyer from Monsanto right here in room 11. First thing she says to me, "Are you a lawyer?" And I said, "Oh God, no, I got enough trouble." And so that made her happy. And I asked her a question. I said, "So you believe in these things, right? These GMO things, and you think they're safe and they're good for you?" "Absolutely they are. Absolutely safe, absolutely." And I said, "See, this is where I'm running into trouble." I said, if I put a pair of vice grips here on my tooth and pulled my tooth out," that kind of made her a little uncomfortable at the thought of that. "And if I took that tooth and put it in a glass and filled that glass with Coca-Cola and left it there for a week or 10 days, and when I poured out the Coke, my tooth would be completely dissolved. It'd be gone." And she says, "What the hell's that got to do with this?" And I said, "See, last year Coca-Cola spent $68 million on advertising a product that everybody in the world knows will rot your teeth out. And when I'm having trouble, because I'm not the smartest guy in the world, I'm just a guy, I'm not a lawyer like you, the problem that I'm having is, if this stuff is so great and it's so safe, why is it that I'm the one asking to label it?" And there was silence for a minute, and she says, "This conversation's over," and walked away. And I said, "Yeah, that pretty much says it all about this issue. Long time coming, finally here."
And in Vermont, we do what we want.
You got it.
Down home blues in shape.
I can see your parties jumping. Everybody's having a good time. I'm sure you know what's going through my mind. Why don't we sit down and talk about it, baby? Kick on your shoes. How about you fixing me a drink? I'll play you some of the down home blues. Go like this. Down home blues, down home blues, down home blues, down home blues. All she wanted to hear was those down home blues all night long. Put on any old record I choose. She was such a good. But she said she wanna get her head back and party off these down home blues. know I don't get out much on the town. I'm singing to you, baby. I know she don't go for none of that running around all week long. But tonight, I'm doing it at you. Yeah. I'm going on David Sheets' front steps right here and play some of the down home blues, just like this. Down home blues, down home blues, down home blues, down home blues. All she wanted to hear was those down home blues all night long. Put on any old record I choose. Yeah, that's what she said. She said she wanted to get her head back and party out the down home blues.